This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Hello and welcome to the Research Talks here on Stockbox with Alan Green. Another week and a bit of an interesting week. We had the FOMC meeting, which the US indices reacted very well to, but then saw a pretty rough day yesterday, being Thursday, didn't they, Alan? But we'll see how it pans out these next few days.
Markets took a battering, didn't they, Mark? They certainly did. I think we're seeing. Yeah, we're just seeing the inevitable reaction to interest rate increases and the ramifications of that. But of course, let's not forget that the inflation has been driven largely by energy prices, and of course, food prices and are following suit. But if that can be brought under control, if alternative energy sources can be secured from other countries for the European Union and for the UK, which of course that's in the process of being agreed with Saudi and other oil suppliers, then we could see inflation peak and hopefully start coming down.
Yeah, indeed. And some analysts will say it's already peaked. And
yeah, exactly. That's probably fair. That's a fair argument, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so today you're going to be talking to us about Altona Rare Earths. We have spoken about them before, but finally they do have a listing date for the main market. These things always take a lot longer than people want, but finally we are at that point. So we're going to be talking about Altona Rare Earths and also Vela Technologies, which is a new one for us, Alan. So is it Altona first?
It's Altona first, yep. Yes, indeed, Mark. Yep. Okay. So it's finally arrived. May 2022 is the month during which Altona Rare Earths finally switch across to the London main market and, of course, open their stock up to funds and investors, and of course people's ability to trade electronically, which is really key to this. However, as well, I said before, of course, if Aquis is finally able to offer trading, electronic trading, then it will certainly revolutionise the Aquis market, and I think markets like AIM and the LSE will have to reconsider the way they present their offering. But that's by the by. So Altona Rare Earths, still listed on Aquis with the EPIC code ANR, currently has a market valuation, a derisory market valuation of just 3.5 million. Shares trading, of course, at 9.75p, just under 10p. The company evolved originally from Altona Energy, which had some legacy coal assets, and of course it was restructured a couple of years ago. Christian Taylor Wilkinson, chief executive officer, came in and to run the company. And Christian, like a lot of chief executives nowadays has a background in IR. He's a seasoned investor, understands the market and also communicating the investment proposition very well. I think we can say Altona has been a slow burn, but we're all agreed there's masses of potential. Of course, Martin Wood, chairman and non-exec director of Altona. He's also chief executive of Koji Iron and ASX listed company, and is involved with Vicarage Capital. Cedric Simony, the non-exec director and geologist, is based in Africa, overseeing the projects that the company's running there. And of course, he's formerly worked with Sadra and Fluorspar and is on the Kenya Chamber of Commerce. The key elements that Cedric brings to the table is, of course, the fact that the Sadra and Fluorspar project is also it's also the area where Altona are currently engaged with the Monte Moambi project, which the company has been working on and developing over the past year. Initially, when Altona set up, the company stated its intention to seek and invest into and build a series of rare earth projects. And of course, rare earth elements, we were trying to pronounce them just now, Mark, weren't we? NdPr, neodymium, praseodymium. These are key elements in magnets for the EV industry, and also for the wind turbines. They also have applications in instruments, in screens, and military technology. So there's a raft of them, and as with all rare earth elements, they're not in. They don't occur infrequently, but they generally occur very sparsely. So where you find these carbonatites, which of course is the key to identifying rare earths in the first place. Where you find these carbonatite intrusions, you'll have a concentration of the rare earth elements there, and concentrations hopefully in commercial quantities. So as Altona have evolved, they've looked at a number of projects. We were close to competing on the Nankoma rare earths project in Uganda, and also the Chambray rare earths project in southern Malawi, and on each occasion, the due diligence, which has been pretty exhaustive from Christian and the team, they got to a point where they couldn't satisfy themselves that there was the structure and the legal framework of the assets would be worth investing into. So that left the Monte Moambe project, rare earths project in the Tete province in northwestern Mozambique, which, as I've already said, is a former fluorspar mine. Previously had up to 170 odd drill holes over a large area, and rare earths were intersected initially in at least 4 areas. So Altona have progressed, and they have developed the campaign at Monte Moambe, and on March the 17th, the company reported phase 1 drilling results, which were very encouraging, and also noted new ore discoveries in several directions. And this was, of course, ahead of sort of heading into into phase 2, the phase 2 campaign. April 28th, the company raised a further 500,000 at 8p, and also worth noting for previous warrant holders, of which I'm one, that the warrants were repriced at 12p. So it's that for me is a pretty exciting point, because I think once the stocks makes it switch to the London main market, I think we'll see a flurry of interest. Rare earths are very important right now. China controls most of the rare earth assets in the world, so those that are based outside of China, of course, are extremely valuable. So I think there's every expectation that Altona is going to develop Monte Moambe, and it's going to become a significant asset. At the same time, the group are also looking to develop other assets and invest into other assets. So the search is on, but Monte Moambe is the real focus for the company right now. So after the raise, on Wednesday this week, the company announced phase 1 assay results from the campaign. Noted significant rare earth elements across multiple targets from the campaign. The intercepts noted up to 7.24% total rare earth oxides and 1.2% NdPr, neodymium and praseodymium. I think I pronounced that correctly, but anyway. And we obviously, with the applications that has, it makes it very exciting indeed. The company also said that 4 of the 6 targets that were drilled will be followed up. 2, of course, as I've already said, are new discoveries. And the company intends to, during May, complete a further 1,200 meters reverse circulation scout drilling to assess other areas within the region. And along with a further 6,500 meters resource drilling. Metallurgical testing course is underway, but we're hopeful to get that before the end of the year. But of course, there is a huge backlog of assay results in labs around the world now. So Altona are very much in the same boat as other companies waiting for the assay results to be returned. The company, the drilling campaign in May will also test the lateral extensions of the two most successful holes. That's MM021 and MM042, and certainly Christian and the team are very enthused by the developments to date, and they believe they can fill what is currently a significant gap in the global rare earths supply chain. Of course, I think once the company makes its switch to the London main market, any news on new projects that the company can invest into should light a bit of a fire under the share price, and I'm sure as we progress during the year and we see further results from Monte Moambi, and we get some idea of the size and the scale of the overall asset, then we'll see significant progress.
Excellent. Good. It is good to hear that they are finally making their way over to the main market. That should certainly help liquidity. If it doesn't, I don't know what quite will. But it certainly, to me, seems like a very compelling investment proposition. Just over 3 million market cap at the moment?
3.5 million market cap on Aquis. And of course, there's been an understandable uptick in the share price since the Monte Moambi drill results. But literally and metaphorically, Altona, I believe, is just scratching at the surface at the moment. I think there's so much more to find. And as we've seen with other projects, I mean, the Yangibana rare earths project in Australia, which Cadence Minerals have an investment into, and of course it's owned by ASX listed Hastings Technology Metals, which trades on a far higher valuation than Altona, and the Yangibana project was also featured recently in the Financial Times, which did an article on rare earth elements. The Australian government basically lent or provided a loan to Hastings Technology Metals of $140 million to develop the project. So that just, I think, epitomizes the importance of rare earths and also rare earth projects or rare earth resources that are outside of China. So as Monte Moambi develops, it will become increasingly important. And I think the derisory 3.5 million market capitalization will be a thing of the past.
Indeed. Same thing in the United States, with the United States government supporting mining companies directly in commodities such as rare earths, again, to secure supply chains away from China. Yes, the time is coming, and those results from Altona recently, all of the grades over that magical 1.5%, which is the number that Christian said should be at to make it a valuable project that could go to production. So it's looking good. They're on with the next round of drilling, and bring on the main market listing and some more liquidity, and let's see where it goes. There are not many, as I've said before, opportunities to invest in rare earths on the stock exchange. Certainly not at this valuation either.
No, I know. Well, I think some mining companies do have rare earth projects in the mix, but Altona is a pure rare earth specialist, and I think that's the big attraction. So the entire management team, all of their resources are just focused in one area, and given its importance, I think this is a burgeoning sector. It's going to be a sector that will be hugely important, and as you say, Mark, the support from the US government and the support from the Australian government for the Yangibana rare earths project, and I'm sure support from governments around the world will be on hand for any new projects that come to light.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, thank you, Alan. I'm sure we'll talk about Altona again in the future. But moving on, Vela Technologies. What can you tell us about them?
Vela Technologies are a company that have 12 investments across a range of listed companies and unlisted companies, and it's often hard to look at a valuation and understand how how a particular company is valued. But in the case of Vela Technologies, it's a pretty straightforward sum of the parts process. So Vela's been around for some years. The company has a very strong management team, and that management team includes Nigel Fitzpatrick, or Brent Fitzpatrick, who has an MBE for his services to education, and he's been instrumental in advising companies on acquisitions, funding, and flotations over the past 20 years. He's currently chairman of Aboy and Clyde Rubber Estates of Ceylon Limited. He's a member of the audit committee and also was chairman of Global Marine Energy a short while ago. We then have James Norman, who's executive director. James is qualified as an accountant many years ago. Worked with 3i, and he's currently non-exec chairman at All Active Asset Capital and Global Resources Investment Trust plc. And from 2009 to 2016 was also full-time FD at Pathfinder Minerals. James is also in an unremunerated capacity active in governance of the Church of England. So that's something he does in his spare time, as if he has enough time to do anything else with all of those roles. And then also Emma Wilson, who's executive director. Emma Wilson runs her own accounting company, Bailey Wilson, and works with a number of AIM companies, and has expertise in in finance and other aspects involved in company investing. So across the company has 12 investments, as I say. Currently, 8 of those investments are well ahead of their original position, and there are 4 in negative territory. So a lot of these will be familiar. The company's stated strategy is to invest into long-term disruptive businesses, and it seeks valuation anomalies in publicly listed companies, and on the back of that identifies special situation opportunities to invest. On the back of that strategy, the company has investments in Aquis listed rural broadband, and of course, rural broadband is an investor into the rural broadband market, as the name would imply, following its acquisition of rural broadband supplier Secure Web Services. Now that's currently trading at a loss. The initial investment was 34,500, and it's currently worth 30,600. Then the company invested into Canovo, the cannabis company, and of course, cannabis stocks have come off quite dramatically in recent years. Recent months, in fact. So that investment is sitting at a minus 85,000. Initial investment down to 67,400. Invested, of course, into Mode plc, and of course we've discussed Mode before, Mark. Mode is a company that offers an app that provides seamless transactions for cryptocurrency and loyalty rewards that basically connect commerce companies, so commerce companies can offer seamless cryptocurrency transaction. And in fact, I've got the Mode app on my phone, and I have sort of some of my cryptocurrency stored with it, and I think it's one of the best, if not the best app out there. But that's just my opinion. The company also is invested into MTI, which of course is MTI Wireless Technologies, the Israeli AIM quoted group. MTI has proved to be a successful investment, an uplift from an initial investment of 146,000 to 152,500. It's invested into Cornerstone plc, which is a company that provides cross-border payment services for small, medium-sized entities. Again, uplift on that investment from 127,000 to 138,000 currently. These are sort of main numbers. And then, of course, Skillcast plc, which is currently sitting sort of, it's just underwater from an initial investment of 152,000. Currently sits at 148,000. Then the company made a very successful investment into North Coders PLC, and of course, North Coders announced their final results last week with a revenue uplift of 124% to 3 million, and a very successful program going forward, and a very strong outlook. So the uplift on that investment from 768,000 now stands at 1.18 million. So that's of course taking place in a very short space of time. So then the final of the listed investments is a company called Igrain Plc, which specializes in investing in breakthrough technologies and discoveries in the healthcare and life sciences sector. And again, with Igrain, the accounting standards the company use require Igrain to be valued using the market share price based on the net asset value. So it was marked down on acquisition, but there is an arguable value based on the share price now, which gives an uplift on the investment from 334,000 to 430,000. So that really summarizes the listed investments. Then the company has a series of, it has 4 investments into unlisted companies. The company is invested into WeShop, and of course, WeShop provides is a digital social networking platform, which is growing into the social e-commerce sector, and the WeShop valuation is based on a share issue in 2018, and the shares are now trading on the JP Jenkins matched bargain exchange, and gives a valuation from the initial investment from 420,000 to currently 650,000. So that's a very strong development in that regard. Then we have the company SGS, and SGS probably represents the company's biggest investment to date, an investment of 2.35 million, currently with an uplift to 2.6 million, and the Vela has a significant interest in 8% of the future royalties from the commercialization of a COVID-19 treatment, and negotiations are currently underway for the sale of this interest for the value at 2.6 million. Then there's an investment in a company called Eristech, and Eristech is a producer and supplier of power-dense compressors, which maximize the power and efficiency of hydrogen fuel cells. So it's a unique offering in the hydrogen fuel cell field. Recently raised a small amount of money at £3 per share, and the arguable value reflects that. So from the initial investment of 350,000, the company is now, or the valuation that Vela holds in its books is now 437,000. Then finally, there's the company Ensilica, and Ensilica is expected to IPO during May this year, and Ensilica's initial investment of 750,000 when the company floats, Vela's investment, of course, took place at a discount to the expected IPO price, which will give a valuation uplift up to 852,000. So, in summary, you've got total investments made into those 12 companies of 5.6 million. Arguable fair value based on each case I've just outlined of 6.7 million. Vela currently is trading at 0.031p. That's having traded as high as 7.5p on the year, which gives it a market cap of 5.3 million. So on that basis, the net assets per share currently stand at 0.047p, which means the company is trading at a 33.6% discount to valuation. Now, of course, it's accepted that in the market, a lot of companies do trade at a discount to valuation. But if you take a look at the company. Go to the company website, which is very good. The website is velatechplc.com. You can read more about the investments, and a lot of those I've spoken about. Obviously, rural broadband modes, MTI wireless, North Coders, people will be familiar with. But just look at the company. Also look at where the company's entry point, which is very important, into the investment, and you'll get some idea of the discount to net assets that the company trades at. And this is an exciting development. It's an exciting opportunity, I think, because if we look at the numbers taken from this time last year, the company was trading at just under 19% discount, 90% discount to net assets, and yet that discount has now increased. So I think there's a real opportunity now to pick up some stock in Vela. It's not going to blaze a trail, but I think with the spread of investments on offer by the company, you're going to see some significant uplift in the coming months, and certainly by the end of the year.
Okay, excellent. So an opportunity to invest in a company that effectively picks out undervalued propositions, invests in them at the early stage, and gets the returns through their success. Is there a policy? What is it? Is it growth we're after here with Vela, or would there be a dividend policy? Do you know at some point, Ellen?
Well, when you combine the experience of the board, so particularly Brent Fitzpatrick, has many years of experience in advising, and as I suppose, as we all do, we all see disruptive technologies, and you form a view on how that technology is going to change the way certain processes work, and combined. That really defines the strategy. So the company is investing in long-term disruptive businesses where the team can see that business will change the way a particular sector is operated, or a particular product range evolves. The company will invest into that where it can see long-term benefits, but also at the same time, companies come to market with a disruptive technology which perhaps is current at the moment. Interesting to note as well that despite that disruptive technology, they didn't see any value in investing into the NFT space. Of course, they've got the exposure with Mode to cryptocurrency, but I think there's it's interesting. I'm going to try and maybe speak to the team and just find out what their views are on the NFT space, because they chose not to invest into that. So they clearly didn't see that as a disruptive or a disruptor longer term.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I noticed Elon Musk took all of the Bored Ape collections and put it on his Twitter profile and said, pretty fungible to me. So, I mean, I think the jury is perhaps still out on whether NFTs are going to change the world. But yeah, interesting nonetheless. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Alan. We've covered Altona Earths and Vela Technologies, two potentially compelling investment opportunities. So thank you very much, and wish you a pleasant weekend.
And you too, Mark. Have a good one. Enjoy the sun.
Thank you. If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.